Yes, people, good morning. Welcome to the morning view, or the transfer view, should I say, Tuesday, 2nd of January, 2024, second day of the year. It's going to be busy. Hopefully, it's going to be busy. There's a lot to talk about. I'm riding solo today. That's the first thing. That is the first thing. Smash a like for Flex riding solo. You know what I'm saying? Straight off the bat, riding solo. Owen, the disgrace and cheat. He's had a long night. He's had a long night. The Rock, for all the wrestling fans, The Rock made a return or something like that, or rumors, and it's all kicking off in the wrestling world. And yeah, Owen's been up for late, very, very late, obviously other side of the pond. So I will take the Roman Reigns. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Roman Reigns from here and run with it. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. So smash a like for a solo stream. I haven't done actually a good solid solo stream live, yeah, at the top of the morning for ages actually. So Steffi Jenkins says big up Flex, big up to you. Lewis Risa says big up everyone, good morning. Felix, big up Denana boy, big up Felix. People want to know, yeah, KG untraceable KG, what's going on? We have to look. Daniel Luciano says Flexing KG show was amazing. Morning UV fam, big up to you, Daniel Luciano. Yeah, bear jokes yesterday. John says disgrace and cheat. Flex View says Avi as well, and Tabislow is in there as well. Sorry, yeah, getting bigged up by Steph. United View Scout, I have returned. Let me know who the latest person is, because also I will say that scout reports will be coming back in January because we've got to get out there and find players. So much to discuss. What will we be discussing today on my show on the Fleck View? 2 signings possible? Question mark. Thinking emoji. What 2 signings are they? Fabrizio Romano has been talking about a centre back and a striker being sort of at the top of the list. Whether that happens or not, obviously we'll discuss that. And also sort of suggesting that Ten Hag's lying, but not in a bad way, like a positive lie. But I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. So Jim Ratcliffe arrives in Manchester. He arrives for work to begin his job. Man arrives for work. But there is the Muppeteers obviously said that he's come over here now as well. New recruitment strategy is likely. That's from Samuel Luckhurst. He's done a piece today, obviously quite scathing on Man United, but I did have a skim through it, and there were some bits that I wanted to touch on, because although Samuel Luckhurst says mad stuff, you know, like he doesn't like us, and obviously he's been rubbed up the wrong way, or he's rubbed the club up the wrong way recently. There's no love lost there. I'm saying he writes scathing articles. Sometimes, though, or a lot of the time, even a lot of the stuff in it, we can't disagree with, and it is important to talk about. Also, according to some French reports, Man United are in pole position for Todibo. I want to talk a little bit about that. And there are some fresh Onana quotes. He's done an interview with Sky Italy talking about his relationship with Eric Ten Hag, obviously, as he gears up to leave for AFCON. We'll talk about that. And lastly, if there's time, De Gea retirement claims. That was just something I wanted to do near the end, just to see what you guys think, just to talk about it, if there was enough time at the end, because surely he can't retire now. Surely he's got more to give to the game. Surely. I mean, Marcel and Cam probably sitting there at home saying he should have retired 5 years ago, and disrespectful things like that. But yeah, we'll have to see about that. And Bear, Liverpool fan, says Palace want 50 million for Elise. I will look at that and see what it is. Elise, good but too injury prone, says Captain Caveman. So we'll talk a little bit about that, especially if you guys want to. So smash a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Where are we at for likes? We're at 65, I'll say 64. But yeah, we can smash the likes and subscribe to the channel. We've got nearly 500 people watching already, so I can feel it's going to be a good stream. Get liking, get your comments in, get your super chats in, and get involved. Right, first story. The situation with the 2 priority signings, centre back and striker. Now this is coming from this was a piece from United District as well. Remember I said big up United District. If you're not following United District, make sure you are across all their socials. They're doing great work. And also make sure you're on their website as well, because they do a lot of pieces. Got some good guys writing some good stuff, always doing their due diligence. But the actual piece, yeah, came from United District, from Kane. Big up to Kane, Kane Smith. And he wrote this yesterday and updated it sort of later on last night as well. Or in the day, should I say. But he was saying that Fabrizio Romano was talking on United We Stand, which I did see that. And he said that United don't expect much movement in the January transfer window, as Romano began speaking. What I can tell you is this is a kind of a lie. This is lie. Frozen fleck. Video froze. Am I frozen? Am I not frozen? Audio still works. Oh, I know. I know. Computers just done a madness. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. It's the whole change in Windows thing. It's not gonna work. Radio view. Man said radio view. I'm back now though. I can see I'm back. Yeah. Do you know what? What's the thing KG has? I don't have the capacity. Don't have the capacity. You know what it is? Because you know with Flecknology, yeah, that was all the RAM and the what's the other things in the computer? The memory, that was the hard drive, the internal hard drive trying to connect and keep up with what's going on. And I don't think it's got the right RAM. So it gave me different ramifications with the Flecknology. And here's me thinking I'm sick as well. I've moved things over to my other screen. My computer just needed some time to just, yeah. And you know what, Terrible Champ? You are correct, my friend. Would never happen under Owen because he's got more Flecknology than me. Ha ha. Need an upgrade, says John. And you know what? I thought I've got tip-top condition stuff. I thought I got the best of the best. Nah, man. I thought me moving stuff off that screen over to there, but really it's the same computer that's running it. It's not really, it's just moving it visually. It's doing a Doctor Strange over there visually, but really I need to up the RAM. So, is it a bit mad every time because I've got a few tabs open, I ain't gonna lie. I think it's that. But anyway, I need to go back to the other tab because I need to be accurate in what I'm saying. If it starts messing up, yeah, let me know again. Yeah, so I'm back to the other tab. But yes, what Fabrizio Romano did say, he said that he doesn't expect, Ten Hag mentioned in an interview that he doesn't expect movement in the January transfer window. He did that with United We Stand. But how, oh my God, again. Raw. Can't change no tabs. Can't change no tabs. Can't change. Can't change. Can't change. Wait there. What if I this is the real Flecknology, you know? What if I move that to there? Right, hold on. Here you go. Let me get this right for you lot. Let me keep that on there. Right. Now what we're talking about. Am I here? Am I here? And this is why. Wake up, Owen. Put tabs on your phone and read it off there, bro. Or I could just move the tabs over to there because now I've got the tabs here. When that's moving, am I moving? Yeah, cool. I'm back. So really, that's all right. Guys, it's all a work in progress. This basically means, yeah, that all my tabs have to be over there. All the stuff I want to read has to be over here. And this is why I have this Flecknology. This is why I have it. This is why I got the second screen because I had to upgrade. So really, every time I want to flick tabs, I need to put it over there. That's peak. Right, I am back. So I'm gonna read it from here. Full YouTube streamer. You know when they got the mad screens. I need to put another screen over here. Right, let me get back to it. I will get this out, I promise. He said, Fabrizio Romano, what I can tell you is this is kind of lying, like my technology. This is kind of lying. Of course, I don't say that in a negative way, but in a positive way. He went on to explain, it's normal at this point in the season that you are not expecting anything. Also because United, they're still waiting for Sir Jim Ratcliffe to come in and a new owner, co-owner, and waiting for new people to come in and oversee the transfer situation. There will be some changes at Man United, and that's probably why Ten Hag wants to keep things quiet. But behind the scenes, the scouting department, the people in charge of the club now, and Ten Hag himself have already discussed names for the January transfer window, including central strikers. He says opportunities for Daniel Marlon, Sheru Garassi, who we know a lot about out there in Germany, Timo Werner. Anyhow, Timo Werner ends up here at United. That's just, I mean, is that better than Weghorst? It probably is because he can run around, but Weghorst ran around, but that can't happen. But anyway, Timo Werner, all players discussed internally. Also, centre-back is a position they are discussing internally. They're waiting to understand when Lisandro Martinez will be ready to return fully from injury. And also, we know the situation about Rafael Varane. I don't think he'll sign a contract now and go in January. That would be stupid for Man United. But that's pretty much where he's at with that. And so he says, so discussions are taking place, and the expectation is for Man United to do something in the January transfer window. So again, look, I mean, someone just said it there. Bear says Romano gets things wrong as well. Of course he does. You know, loads of people get things wrong. But he's saying that there is a likelihood that Man United will do something. And this is kind of back to what me and Owen were talking about yesterday. That Man United, we think that Man United will do something, but it will be sort of low cost loans, because what is it that we can really do? There's not really much else we can really do, is there? Let's be real. Like the funds are very limited, the resources are very limited, and the players that we want to get in either cost too much, and the players that we want to get out either cost too much to shift. So we're in a bad position. And I was saying even yesterday, the best situation we could have, or the best thing to do, is probably do nothing, or get very, very low cost loans, which we've done, which haven't always worked out. They've been stocking fillers, but you mix us having hardly any games / 1 game a week and players coming back, it should be enough to see us just peter out. I don't think we're going to get top 4. I don't think we're going to go on a run. I think we're going to win 1, lose 2, win 2, lose 1, draw 1, win 1, then lose 1. It's just going to be inconsistent to the end of the season. That's all that's going to happen. But it is interesting to see Fabrizio Romano say that he does expect us to do something. And at the top of that list is a striker and a centre-back. And let's be honest, it should be a striker, really. And with how the centre-backs have been, with loads of injuries, it probably should be a centre-back as well. I mean, the thing with the striker situation is that Rasmus Højlund just, you know, we forget how young he is. Like, he's not experienced. Like, and this is when I've said this, people are like, nah, Flex, you're being a bit too harsh. And this is what I mean about when I've said this, is that Rasmus Højlund is not good enough to lead the line for Man United at this stage of his career by himself. That's not saying he's rubbish. That's not saying he's not going to be. I really like him, and I like some of the attributes that he has, but he's so raw. And he's no different to like players that we've had out on loan who have gone and played like senior football, and then come back, and then now we want them to play more football. It's kind of like Ahmad, yeah. Let me get it up on here on my separate screen, right? It's kind of like Ahmad. Ahmad is how old? He's 21. Ahmad's 21, yeah? And he was at Atalanta, and he played like 9 games or something like that, didn't he, before we bought him, right? And he came to us young and then we wanted to like build him up, yeah? So at Atalanta, there you go. He played 4 times. He played 4 times for Atalanta, 3 times in Serie A. And then I'm sure he made like a Champions League appearance as well at one stage. In Europe, yeah, there you go. He made 1 in Europe as well, but he played about 4 or 5 times for Atalanta at senior level, right? And since he's come to Man United, he's made 4 senior appearances, right? So what we're saying is that a kid, my comparison is between him and Rasmus, right? Not just because they come from the same team. That's just by chance, right? But it just helps my argument. Rasmus Højlund, right, has very limited experience, right? Let me see how many times he played, right? He has very limited experience. And he's a year younger, right? He's a year younger than Ahmad. And at Atalanta, he might have played more, right? But, so because he played 19 times for Copenhagen and 18 times for Sturm Graz. So he's a little bit more experienced, and he had the whole season there. But what I'm saying is that he's unproven at that level, yeah? He had 1 season where he scored 9 goals, okay? Then all of a sudden, Ahmad has come to England, and last year he played the whole season in the Championship with Sunderland, and didn't he get their Player of the Year? Did he not? I think he did. You know what I mean? He was amazing at Sunderland, and they kind of wanted to keep him, and he was going to go on loan in the Premier League. Obviously, he went to Rangers and done all right as well. Played 37 times in the Championship. That is a similar sort of experience level or experience mark that Rasmus Højlund has, and he has it in England. But then we're saying that Ahmad's not really ready, and his plan was to be loaned. Meanwhile, we're taking Rasmus Højlund from Atalanta after scoring 7 goals and having 1 whole season in Serie A at a good level, and saying, come lead the line for Man United. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. We're talking about these players like they're not like other players that we haven't saying they're not ready and they need to go. and go and get minutes. But we're saying Rasmus Højlund should be bought for £64 million after scoring 9 goals in 32 games in one season in top flight Serie A. Yes, he was at Sturm Graz. Yes, he was at Copenhagen, a lower level. But, well, we didn't even beat Copenhagen, but you get my drift. But then we're saying he's ready. It doesn't make sense. If you look at young Alvaro Fernandez at Preston North End, got Young Player of the Year. Fantastic season for him playing in the Championship, done really, really well. He then comes back after playing the whole season of men's football and really doing well. He's not ready. Send him out on loan again. Hannibal played what? Bare games for bloody who was it? Birmingham. Probably over 30 games. If I go and check now, I bet he played over 30 games in and amongst it, battling, kicking people every week, learning men's football, which actually suits his game. Comes back, not ready, hardly getting a look in. Like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And like Kristen says, Ahmad was the only positive in the Forest game. Yeah, the way he takes the ball, the way he wants to look after the ball. He very rarely loses it, actually, and he doesn't take people on all the time. He's very different to Anthony. Very, very different to Anthony. So I definitely would start Anthony next game, just like Mr. Radal says right there. I don't think you can not. How can you not start Anthony next game? So yeah, I do think that is a situation whereby we have to look at how have we ended up with Rasmus Højlund with that much pressure on him. It doesn't make any sense. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't add up. So back to what Romano was saying about bringing in a striker. Absolutely. Like this is the problem at Man United that's now. Anyone who comes in, especially these youngsters who we want to do well, whether it be Ahmad, whether it be Kobbie Mainoo, whether it's now Rasmus Højlund, we're saying come in and do it all now. Be good from the start now. Be amazing now. Put us on your back now. Carry us now. That's what we're on. We're saying do it all now. And it's like, that's just an unfair reality. It's just an unfair demand to place on these teams. Exactly. When Rooney joined, look at the team around him. And I've said this many times, bringing in young players into such instability like what we have and inconsistency can almost hurt them. I know there's the bit that if they're good enough, they're old enough, so play them. Like we want Kobbie Mainoo to keep playing through tough times, or you take him out, put him in at the right times, etc., etc. But trust him, play him. Same with Ahmad now. Give the kid a chance. Like we're not really playing for anything. Top 4 is very unlikely, in my opinion. I know some people say we can go on a run when we get players back, but I just think it's unlikely. So we're out of the Carabao Cup, we're out of the Champions League, we're not in the Europa League. We've got one game a week, and one of them, the first one is against Wigan, in the FA Cup. Definitely play Ahmad. Can't be any worse than Anthony. Even in the 15-20 minutes since he come on at Forest, even though the whole team was shit, he done more than Anthony in that time. So I just think the disparity between the quality of players when we're saying, well, look at Rasmus Højlund, right? And we're saying that he can come in and start all the games, and as soon as he's not there, look how shit we was when Rashford had to be up front in that type of game. But then players who have got similar experiences to him are seen and deemed as nowhere near it. Doesn't make sense to me. With the centre-back situation, back to what Romano was saying before I wrap up on that story, makes sense. I mean, look, the Victor Lindelof situation, I mean, he went away, had surgery. Varane's got injury problems all the time, but he's playing right now because Maguire got injured, but he's expected back early January. So we'll see this week with the press conference who's back. Lisandro Martinez obviously expected back this month as well, but he's going to need easing back because he's been out for so long. They've got to get this right, because again, there's no point rushing him. It's not like we got big games, massive games coming up where, I know every game's a big game because we want to try and get up the table and stop this rut, but let's be real, it ain't that no more. I'd rather us fix him properly so that when he comes back, he's completely fine to the end of the season, and actually having one game a week will probably help him too. But what I think is really interesting is when he does come back, Eric keeps saying about, he can't wait for the players to come back. He knows we're going to play better football then, etc., etc. Well, we'll have to wait and see about that. But he will have the chance to basically have his full strength team back again. Luke Shaw, I don't even know where he is. I don't even know why he's still not about. Where is Luke Shaw? I don't even know why he's not there. So yeah, I don't know where he is, but he's got a chance soon to do that and to get his first team back, and that's what we want to see. Let's get some of your chats read out. Flexer, this is from King Gamart 123 says, Flex, I agree with you on the pressure of the young players. They need senior players around them, but you're happy to risk losing Varane, who I'd say is the perfect idol at the club for the young guns at United. I hear you on that. And when I say risk losing Varane, I say that only out of the situation that we're in with keeping him. I'm not opposed. Listen, my only thing with Varane is don't negotiate the contract. Don't just trigger the extension of the contract at the same money. We can't. That means you're saying that we should, with Varane's injury problems, but he's good to have around the training ground. We're paying 340 grand a week for a mentor in our playing squad. That's not what I'm on. I don't. Of course, I want Varane to be a part of what we're doing, but it can't be on 340 grand a week. It has to be on fresh terms. And like I say, I love the Ghost of Rafe the Phantom. If that doesn't suit him financially at this stage of his career, where he's like, I know I can go Saudi and get pretty much the same money as this, 340 a week. I know I could go Saudi and probably get more. I know I could go, I don't know, somewhere else in Europe and get, well, I don't even know where we're going in Europe actually and get that type of money, because he's not at the top end like of the pay scale anymore to go back to, and like, you know, at Bayern Munich, he wouldn't get 340 grand a week. No chance. He can go to better teams than us, but I don't know if he can get more money than what we give him. So that was what my point was about the Varane situation. It was less so about, I don't want him here, he has no value, and more about keeping him hurts us. Like Kristen says, I don't want 340k a week for a babysitter. So once I get your point there, but I think you might have misread why I want Varane to maybe leave versus why I want him to stay. Wong says, please plus Bayindir, sell the rest of the squad, replace them with better quality and give the kids a chance. Last night I had a bad dream. I was wearing a Man City jersey. Jeez, yeah. Wake up, don't worry, it's fine. Captain Caveman says, it's not the time to be sentimental and loyal on certain players anymore. We need better. And I agree. Michelle Ellis says, this wages thing is shocking when they are happy to pay Rashford 400k a week for not bothering. Well, that's what I'm saying, Michelle. I hear what you're saying. And then this is the thing we have to address most, which there's going to be collateral. There's going to be us losing money, but we got to address this wage thing because it's just too high. It's just too high. Vegeta says 2 signings, which ones and for what? Who's making the signings? This is just what Fabrizio Romano was talking about. Exactly. We still don't know exactly how that would happen, what that would look like, who's going to make them. But that was what he was reporting. So yeah, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Wanted to move on just very, very quickly to Sir Jim Ratcliffe arrived in Manchester. This came from the Muppeteers. I mean, look, there's not an awful lot to say on that, really. He arrives to work. I just want them all there. I know Sir Dave Brailsford has been there. He's conducting his assessment on Man United. I just want them all there. Just all of you get in. You've acquired the 25% now. Get in and cross all the T's you need to cross, dot all the I's you need to dot, and get working, because there is work to be done. Serious work to be done with how poor we are. We need massive change, and we need it now. We can't be dilly-dallying and waiting too long. I just want everyone in. And you know, Sir Dave Brailsford, I think, went to Carrington apparently to conduct what he was conducting. And Sir Jim, well, it's no surprise that he's there. Yeah, he needs to be there, and he needs to be working as well. While I'm live, I've obviously got what I need to talk about. I do want to just have a check to see if anything else has broken. Do you know what? I'm going to go straight to these Onana comments as well, actually, because that's kind of what's breaking at the minute as he's spoken up about a lot. I'm just going through some of them now. He's done a big exclusive interview with Sky Italy. So let's take a look into what he said. Big up United District, straight on it as usual. Andre Onana, mistakes are part of learning. We know that people expect a lot from me, and that's why they criticize me so much. But for me, it's not a problem. I'm used to it. The same thing also happened at Inter. Actually, before we carry on, Joe Blackman's he's right here. 900 people watching. Actually, over 1,000 people now. Over 1,000 people watching. Only 179 likes. Come on, guys. I mean, where are we at now with the likes, actually? We are at 183. Let's push the likes up. Hopefully, by the end of the stream, for a Fleck. You know, I came through adversity during this stream. I came through Flecknology problems all by myself and worked out the thing with the tabs, moved the tabs over, take the pressure off my RAM. I did that all by myself. Owen didn't have to call in and help. Josh didn't have to call in and do any technology issues. I sorted that for you guys. That's worth a like just in itself. Big up Joe Blackman's always supporting as per usual. But yeah, back to what Onana's been saying. Yeah, so he's basically saying, you know, mistakes are part of learning. People expect a lot from me. That's why they criticize me. But the same thing used to happen at Inter. He goes on to say, at the beginning, the Inter fans criticized me, but look how it ended. Now it's an eternal love with the Nerazzurri, obviously the Inter faithful. Man United is an even bigger club, and the expectations are also greater. But I'm sure that by doing better and better from now on, we will smile. He also says, we will smile together, as happened with Inter. What else does he say? He says, now at Man United, I have my future in my hands. Now at Man United, I have my future in my hands. What did he not have it? Did he not have it in his hands at Inter? I know that thing happened at what's it called? Ajax, and then he went to Inter for only a year. But anyway, that's what he said. I have my future in my hands. We just have to get up, and I'm sure we will for this season. I say that life is made up of moments, and as such, for better or for worse, there are always temporary. He is very he's a deep character. He is a deep character, and I know that from, obviously we can all see that from the type of interviews he does, how he speaks about himself, the pressure that he has. I mean, we saw it as quite refreshing at the beginning of the season when we played our first Champions League game in Munich, and you know, he was at fault, and he came out and spoke to me afterwards for very, very briefly, but more importantly, came out to the media and said, it's my fault. You know, the club told me that he wasn't even down to do media that day. He wanted to face the media, as well as I think Bruno did that day. So he said, listen, it's all my fault. I take full responsibility. And at the time we were like, this is the mentality that we want. Yes, of course, we don't just want apologies, we want performances, because after a lot of things wrong that he did, when you keep coming out and saying, sorry, I'll do better, it's about action. You can't just keep saying sorry. But he does have this big personality that, you know, you would like to think would get him through these tough moments. I mean, look, even on the stream yesterday, KG said he's done with him, and I think Wajid said sell him, or someone else said that, and quite a few people have been like, nah, he's not it. Like, we have to sell him already. And it's like, I want to try and persist and keep giving him the chance, but I get it. With some of the things he's done, you don't see him eradicating those from his game. There can be good seasons and bad seasons. In life, you have to understand when to enjoy the good moments and when you have to enjoy the bad ones. We are human beings. All these things help us learn. Very philosophical. I have a fantastic relationship with Ten Hag. Together at Ajax, we experienced some wonderful moments and did great things. But as I always say, everything is earned on the pitch. And I want to say that I am definitely here because he wanted me, but also because I was the best last season. He is really on this, like, proper, like, I was the best last year, don't tell me I'm shit vibe. That's what he's on. That's what he's on. That's what Onana's on. I always say everything's earned on the pitch, right? But I want to say that I'm definitely here because he wanted me, but also because I was the best last season. And the confidence in me, he's saying I was the best keeper in Europe last season. And I know we got into that team of the year, which at the Ballon d'Or thing, which basically he says he is, but we know he's not better than Alisson. We know he's not better than Edison, etc., etc. But he believes that he is. And he's saying the stats back up what I'm saying, bro. Don't at me. I'm sure things will improve for me here in Manchester too, because when you have the ability, it's only a question of time. So, yeah, like Courts, let me go there. Courts says there, manifestation. He's manifesting. He's saying it'll be okay. Wayne says Onana will be fine once he has a solid and consistent defense in front of him, which we haven't seen him with yet. It will be really interesting to see how he is with, I know he played with him already, but to see how he is with Lisandro Martinez consistently, and Varane, if it's going to be him or Maguire playing out from the back. What happens when we get Luke Shaw back at left back? What happens when we get Dalot back at right back? To have that consistent setup and then a consistent midfield setup. It will be interesting to see. But Onana's, really strong with what he's been saying. And listen, I don't blame him for having the confidence in himself. It's one thing having the confidence in yourself. It's another thing sort of, displaying it, because I don't want to keep seeing sorry all the time. Do you know what I'm saying? That we keep seeing apologies. We keep saying I'm going to do better. We keep saying I'll get it right sooner or later. But unfortunately, it's cost us a lot of points this year. And I don't want to keep going back over spilt milk, but essentially, you know, look at Onana's performance in the Champions League. He was a massive part of turning points, which, yes, you can argue a better team could have still come through their keeper making them mistakes and showing a little bit more up here. But he was a massive part of the reason why we struggled to get out of that group and ended up finishing bottom and conceding that many goals. Because a lot of the goals were literally his fault. Literally his fault and his fault only. Or goals that we conceded started with a mistake from him. If I think back to Galatasaray at home when he just gave the ball away, then got Casemiro sent off, then had to face a penalty, which they scored. So, you know, he's played his part. Yes, he played his part in Copenhagen home to get the penalty in the last minute, but saved the penalty. But like I said, he was he had to face a lot. He had to face a lot at his doorstep, which he admitted, but we don't want to keep seeing the same situation. You know what I mean? We don't, because at the end of the day, sorry only gets you so far. Sorry only gets you so far. Taraya says, I believe we can make it next season. Trust the process. And I don't manifest. I'm not a wizard, says Ari. Says Aria. As you see, Paps is there. Cost us Champions League. And Mr. Please says Onana will be number 2 after he leaves for African Cup. What do you guys, I mean, look, how do you guys see that going? Do you think Bayindir can, because you know what we're like as Man United fans. We're like, listen, just play Bayindir. It can't be worse than Onana. And listen, Bayindir hasn't kicked the ball probably since, definitely not since domestically, since he's come to here. And also since he's probably had international duty with Turkey. He could find it really nerve-wracking. Do you know what I mean? Like, we were going to have to face Spurs with Bayindir in goal. You know, that's a huge game. Steve says, I think he plays Heaton. But Heaton's been injured. I mean, I haven't really seen him in the squads recently, unless I've just not been looking and missed him. I saw him sitting next to Sadeo Brailsford the other day and John Murto making deals. Dino Lewis says, yeah, give him a chance. Kristen says, as I said the other day, I have a funny feeling Bayindir will be worse. Imagine that, but also he could be worse via just trying to, you know, just being nervous. He ain't played for Man United before, and his first game is going to be bloody Spurs at home, big game. Mistakes are what great goalies make. Bad goalies don't make mistakes; they are mistake from inception. And I don't trust that Bayindir is good enough given the overall standard of Eric Ten Hag's silence, says Skiliano. Basically saying if Eric Ten Hag's decided to get this guy in as number 2, he must be rubbish because most of his signings haven't been it. Joe Blackman says, all it takes is 5 saves flex and we will want him to stay. Yeah, if Bayindir comes in and just does basic shit, say he comes for corners, crosses and just gathers it easy, makes good normal saves, doesn't do mad distribution, and we win a couple of games, listen, we'll say Bayindir in. Shameless. We'll say Bayindir, new deal, and we'll say sell Onana. That's what we will say. You're right. That's exactly what we'll say. Fans forget Bayindir is Turkey's number 1 keeper, says Ramo. Yeah, he is. He is. Renewed Money says Bayindir cannot be worse. Please, for my sanity. So listen, he's gonna get a chance to play. He played for Turkey twice in November, says D Muller, and I know he is their number 1 starting keeper, but he's gonna get a chance to play. We just have to hope that you know, he's better. We just have to hope that, so I'm saying, he manages to do what we need him to do. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Make sure you do that. We're at 1100 watching and counting. Let's get up to 1200. We're at 285 likes, basically 300. I want to get that 500. I want to get that 500. Yeah, give me that 500 likes, guys. We can do that. Hit a like. Moving on, I want to talk about Man United potentially being in pole position for Jean-Clair Todibo. Let me move tabs. Learn my lesson. There you go. Rudy Galletti, he was a journalist out there in France, does Sky Sports as well as some other big outlets out there in France. He says that Nice are open to let Todibo go in January for a price tag of 50 to 60 million euros. As he said 10 days ago, but he's still saying it now. Chelsea asked for info, but nothing advanced at this stage. Chelsea want to lighten the squad first, shock, to comply with FFP rules. And then he says Man United remain in pole position. Centre-back is their main target. And look, we know about the Todibo situation. Spurs were obviously in for him. And we did say, look, if somebody comes in and snatches Jean-Clair Todibo, even though we know he's been a long-standing, we've liked him for a long time. He's a long-standing target, should I say. It's going to be, we're going to have to swallow that. We're going to have to swallow that, because where are we going to find 40 mil from right now to go and sign him? 50 to 60 million euros. Where are we going to find the best part of that? Now, this is, though, this could be, though, where Sir Jim Ratcliffe could come into play. That I will say. Court staff flexing 2 monitors. Oh, of course. And I'm going to get a third. It's going to go right there on that side. Yeah, it's something that maybe, because, Nice are doing pretty well in the league. Let me check if they're still second. They were last time I saw. League 1. Let's go to the table. Are Nice still second? Yes, they are. 5 points behind. They're doing well, man. 5 points off PSG. Obviously, PSG will be favourites still, but they're having a good season. They're having a really good season. I think the top 3 there get Champions League as well, so a real chance for them to get Champions League. Monaco behind them by 2 points on 33, and Brest doing really well on 31 points, and then behind that is Olympic Lyon. So sorry, Lille. So look, what I'm saying is that Nice having a good season, and they don't want to sell him right now. So it could be a case where Sir Jim Ratcliffe, because this is the thing we're forgetting. Well, I haven't really thought about. He's still like part of what they're doing. Like, he's still their owner. He's still making big decisions there, even though he's got 25% of Man United now and starting to come back here. He could say, listen, no one's going on my watch. I've got a lot going on. This is what we want him to say. I've got a lot going on, business, financially. Nice are doing well. I want stability here. I want you guys to get me Champions League. And I'm going to go sort out this mess at Man United. No one's leaving. Jean-Clair Todibo is not going anywhere until the summer. And then that could give us a chance to get some calm, get some funds, and then we go for him. Almost like a Sir Jim Ratcliffe blocks the move himself, because it's his player, it's his team. We're forgetting that Sir Jim Ratcliffe can literally go to Todibo, you're not going anywhere. Furthermore, hold tight. I've got big plans at Man United. I want you to come there. Could tell his agents that. Big money move. You get more money. Again, we need to avoid doing the money thing. But I'll make it worth your while playing at Man United under me, who you've already got a good relationship with. I brought you to Nice. Hold firm, hold tight. He could do that. So I feel like, see that Chris saying there, I bet if we signed Todibo, the league turns down this Ratcliffe deal, because that's still one of the things where the Premier League have to ratify it. And like I said, crossing the T's, dotting the I's. But it would be nice to see him flex a little bit of his muscles. Do you know what I'm saying? Flex a little bit of his power. Use a little bit of his power, because if there's a deal to be done for a player that we've got a long-standing interest in, and he's fully said that he wants to leave, or he's up for coming to the Premier League, we got to try and be at the front of the queue. Guys, to be honest with you, because otherwise what are we doing? We've literally got somebody who owns Nice and could put a stop to this. So let's see how that one goes. But I think that's one for the summer. I definitely don't think it's one that can happen now. It certainly isn't for me. Laurie Whitwell also says has an update here as well, which is very interesting. 1 minute ago, Man United restricted to 1 or 2 loans in January due to spending regulations as club awaits Premier League ratification on Ineos investment. So that literally says what we were just talking about. It's going to be loans. And we ain't going to be going getting no Todibo for 40 million, that's for sure. Potential low-cost strikers looked at include Eric Choupo-Moting, Timo Werner, and Guirassy, only an option if a sale. Interest in Greenwood as well. That's from Dan Sheldon from The Athletic as well, but Laurie Whitwell's kind of just put some more on that. I will open up this. Let's get rid of all of them. Let's see this Athletics come through at a perfect time. So this has been written by Laurie Whitwell and Dan Sheldon, posted 21 minutes ago. Man United transfer window, Choupo-Moting, Muller, and Guirassy on the radar, but cash is tight, which we know. Manchester United are insisting business will be minimal in January, perhaps even non-existent. Again, wouldn't be surprised. We have said that. Here we go. A lot of people in the chat. Here we go. Oh my God, not Timo Werner. For F's sake, says Black Belt. Yep. Renewed Money says if we're gonna bring back a Gala, we're going to bring back a Gala. But let's get into this. Manchester United are insisting business will be minimal in January, perhaps even non-existent. At most, there will be 1 or 2 loans. The situation is not set to change, even with the confirmation of Sir Jim Ratcliffe's investment into the club. As Ineos founder Ratcliffe wrote in his open letter to fans after his deal for 25% of the club was announced, it is subject to the usual regulatory sign-off process. Erik ten Hag is already on record saying he does not expect signings and said he is happy with the current squad and United will be stronger when injured players Casemiro, Martinez and Mason Mount return from injury. Football director John Murtough told the most recent fans forum there will always be the possibility of deals around the edges of the squads, particularly in terms of finding opportunities for players who are not playing as much football as they would like. Hence Sancho going to be on his way out. Hence Donny van der Beek's already gone out. However, we've always been consistent in saying that we do not see January as the optimal time to do business and our recruitment strategy remains focused on the summer windows. We ain't interested in what you've been saying about recruitment, mate, because you've effed it up bare times. But basically saying we're doing our shit in summer. I am logged in. Why is it not? Let me do that. There you go. I've paid my subscription. There you go. I've paid my Athletic subscription. Yeah, try and log me out. Against that backdrop, Laurie Whitwell and Dan Sheldon explain what United fans can expect. So let's get into this bit. Where's the bit that he's saying about cheap promoting? And we've read that bit. I want to get to the bit where he's talking about. I'm just going to skim through here. Because it is a lengthy piece. There you go. Not a winter window goes by without United needing a centre forward, because he's now talking about what are the priority positions, and this is basically what Romano said. He just backs it up. After signing Højlund, the attacking department is faltering. After signing Højlund, United have scored 22 goals in 19 games. Only Burnley, Sheffield United have scored fewer. Ridiculous. Martial is unreliable as an alternative to Højlund, and although Marcus Rashford can play there, he's been out of form, and ideally Ten Hag would like another option. A centre-back may also come onto the agenda as well. And this is where he talks about who the targets might be. So that literally just backs up what I was talking about with the Romano situation, and it falls in line with him that the priorities, if we are going to do anything, would be another striker and a centre-back. Now, here's where he talks about what do we know about who the targets might be. Thomas Muller. Thomas Muller is also 34. Is another Bayern player out of the team who United have watched, although he recently signed a contract extension. Contact has also been made to check on the potential cost of RB Leipzig's Timo Werner, who has scored twice in 8 Bundesliga games this season. Werner was on United's radar before he moved to Chelsea in 2020, and we know how that went. United are keeping an eye on the market for that kind of ready-made striker. Should United get money from a sale, they might decide to invest it into Stuttgart's Serhou Guirassy, who has scored 17 goals in 14 games. He's been on fire. Guirassy reportedly has a release clause of 15.2 million, which is cheap, but about 15.2 million more than United have room for in terms of FFP. And that's why that one's the most, unlikely, unless there was a sale for Jadon Sancho, which I can't see, unless there was a sale for Martial, which I can't see because we're letting his contract run down anyway. I just don't see it. Let me get the super chat out before I carry on. Marcus S says, Flex, loan the Nice team to United and send our players the other way. That they would perform better. Imagine that. Imagine you could just change the whole team. Change the whole team and just swap the teams over. That would be amazing. But like Laurie Whitwell says, the Guirassy one, even though he's the best out of them players and having an amazing season, is £15.2 million more than Man United have room for in terms of FFP. There is also a consideration that Guirassy is 27 and has not hit form like this before in his career. He also represents Guinea and is set to be at the African Cup of Nations in January. Who could be on their way out? Martial, Casemiro and Varane are all players who may, for one reason or another, be weighing up their options in January. And while United need to sell to buy, there is a sporting concern in each case. Could United get better replacements? Exactly. If you let Varane go, could you get someone in better right now? The answer is definitely no to that, because if we let him go, we're not going to get enough money to go and buy someone better or equal to him. Martial, could you go and get someone better than Martial? Probably yes, in terms of availability and even ability, but you're not going to be able to sell him for much. If not, Ten Hag will not sanction the sale if we can't get anyone better. Murto established contacts in Saudi, one possible market with a recent trip, but is also said to have found out squads in the country are full, so cannot be added to in January. Exactly. So they've reached their quota. Saudi are on coming back in summer and doing their quota of working things out. Outcast Sancho is available, and United would ideally loan him out to protect his value and recoup some of his wages, which are more than 200 grand a week. The club will not pay off the player, however, because that would be a dramatic hit to FFP calculations, both in cash reserves by needing to pay him a lump sum and also be depriving them of writing down his book value in accounts. That bit's interesting. They're saying actually they won't just pay him off and rip it up, which, contrary to Melissa Reddy's piece that she done a few weeks ago, she was saying that they won't rule that out, but she did. But Laurie Whitwell says here, I'll just reiterate on Jadon Sancho, the club will not pay off the player, however, because that would be a dramatic hit to FFP calculations, both in cash reserves by needing to pay him a lump sum and also depriving them of writing down his book value in accounts. They're also expected to be talks around Mason Greenwood as well. The forward on loan at Getafe scored 5 goals in 15 games and is attracting interest from several Liga sides, including Barcelona, although no contact has yet been made. Getafe would be due 20% of any sale as per the deal and may be open to an early end to his stay, but it's thought that a permanent resolution to Greenwood's United career is more likely in the summer. And that's the end of that piece. So basically, to recap on that, get your comments in as well, guys. Let me know what you think about what that piece about what Laurie Whitwell has just said. Basically, it's saying that if we are going to do anything, it's going to be a minimal, which we already knew. Maximum of 2 loans, which again, we already knew. Guirassy was a name we've been linked with. We already knew that. But 15.2 million or 17.2 million or whatever it was, too much. We ain't going to be able to afford that. I mean, let me ask you this. It's slim pickings, guys, yeah? I might have to put a poll in the chat. It's slim pickings, right? But on loan, this is shameless. I'm gonna admit this now. This is shameless, yeah. But I'm gonna put Werner or Muller on loan. Shameless settings. But I'm gonna ask you to pick because that's where we're at. That's where we're at. There's no dressing it up. Werner or Muller on loan? Question mark. That's how peak it is. That's where we're at. Makes me feel sick, says produced by Palmeiras. I hear you. That's where we're at. Timo Werner, yeah, or 34-year-old Thomas Muller. Now, Timo Werner can run around. I can't even believe it. Do you know what? I'm not even going to dissect the positive pros and cons. Muller will never join us, says Skiliano. Lock the stream off, Dave. Hark out. Do we vote for none? Do you know what? I should have put none. Would you just rather stay as we are? Should have put none, actually, shouldn't I? But I kind of want you guys. No, I want to force you guys into a decision. You know what I mean? I want to force you guys. Muller ages just like a lobster. Yeah, Muller's just been. He's looked the same and been the same for about 15 years. It's. I tell you what. It's. We're shameless. Nah, we're shameless. 52% are saying Muller, 49%. Oh, now it's 50-50. Oh my lord. Muller's a great character to have, but he's more of a 10 than a striker. Steffi Jake says, I ain't voting. Can't see Muller coming. None. Wouldn't want any of them. Muller isn't a 9, which he's not. Rather bring back Igala than either of them two. Flex said, Flex laid the smackdown on KG. Watch the Flex and KG show if you haven't. Yeah, it was interesting. People are just shading Werner. People are shading, Timo Werner. And if you're being honest, out of the shitness, and big respect to Muller because he's been a player who's achieved absolutely everything. He's unbelievable professional. But now in the Premier League, we can't see Thomas Muller. What about Eric Choupo-Moting? Done bits at PSG, done bits at Stoke, done bits at Bayern. What are you lot saying? Eric Choupo-Moting? Mudded. Fuck it. No, I need a drink of water, man. Absolutely mudded. Absolutely mudded. Joe Blackman says, hell no. What have we become, guys? What have we become? But we shouldn't be surprised. We had the Weghorst situation last year. Are any of these men upgrade on Weghorst? Muller, Werner, or cheaper Motin? Are they better? Are they better than Weghorst? Oh, you know when you just like away from the news now, I can't bother. No more quotes, no more news, unless I'm missing anything. Let me double check because I need to vent. Dango! Oh, here we go. Dango. Samuel Luckhurst. Man United considering loaning Dango this month. Preston North End are interested. Man United have received inquiries from League One and League Two clubs about taking Joe Hugill on loan as well. He is expected to sign a new contract as part of any arrangement to be loaned out. Dango amongst the youngsters Man United are considering sending out on loan. Man United have made contact to ask about the potential cost of Timo Werner. Yeah, I've read that one already. These are just the aggregator accounts going on it after Laurie Whitwell. But yeah, what is Luckhurst saying here? Academy loanees are rife during January and at Man United, and that is set to be the case. Dan Gore made his debut against Crystal Palace. League Cup win in September and has already generated interest from Preston North End as well as other Championship clubs. Fellow midfielders Casemiro and Mount are expected to return from injury mid-January, though Sofyan Amrabat is available all month as he represents Morocco. Oh, yeah! Wait there, I forgot. Even Amrabat's not going to be here too. Not that he's been playing much recently. But I forgot he's not going to be here as well. We're not going to make that loan permanent, that's for sure. Hugo is expected to sign a new contract as part of any arrangement. Hugo has been named as United's bench 3 times in the last 6 weeks, and United were without an out-and-out striker. Yeah, exactly, and he didn't even use him. The former Sunderland Academy goal scorer impressed United manager, and Hugo was an 11th hour inclusion to the matchday squad for the win against Everton in November. Charlie McNeil will be recalled from his season-long loan at League Two Stevenage, where he has only started 3 times, so that hasn't really worked. He scored 20. He's 20, scored on his Stevenage debut, but has not played since, so that hasn't really worked out. United are planning for McNeil to stay with the club for the remainder of the season. McNeil, Hugo, and Gore were members of United's FA Youth Cup winning squad in 2022, as was Garnacho. Where are we at? Ten Hag has also indicated at least one academy keeper will head out on loan. Radek Vitek and Dermot Mee have been involved in the first team training this season. So yeah, X that off. Okay, cool. Dangor, who KG likes a lot. I like little Dangor. He runs around. Got a nice little feel to him. Hopefully, he can go out and get some games. I need to vent because the mud is mudding. Timo Werner, cheaper Motin, Weghorst vibes, Muller. It's just shit, innit? It's just shit. I mean, where are we at? 52% say, 53% say Timo Werner, probably because he can run off the shoulder and be a little bit more active, but he's not good. And we know he's not good. So that's an issue. That's an issue. I need to stay calm because there's no point getting worked up because like I said, I already know this is our situation. I do already know that, and I need to remember that. And it just shows the mess that we're in. Likes wise, we're at 374. I think we can get to 500, guys. We can. Yeah, I'm still crying about Kova. 100%. I agree with that. Come on, guys. We can get to 500 likes on the way out. I'm sure we can do that. We're at nearly 1,300 people watching. I'm sure we can get to 500 likes. Like for a January purchase. If you think we can get someone or something somehow, smash a like. Because we are mudded. I got DR Sports this morning, or later on today, should I say. I'm gonna have to make a truce I want to make a truce with Matisse and Matisse only. So I got a plan for that. Make sure you got tune into that. Because we're mudded. Don't buy anyone, says Daniel O'Connor. Ten Hag seemed like Amari Forson in pre-season. He did, but that hasn't come into anything. It is one of them, guys. It is one of them. Not much else to say. But there was some sort of breaking news as well as we, was live. So Man United in for Timo Werner, cheaper Motin, all of that jazz. We shall see. 2 signings maybe, but they're going to be in the form of loans, which we know. So smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. I think hopefully we've got FIFA later on. Me and KG gonna have some fun with that. I need to speak to him, check that he's remembered, because you know what he's like. And we'll be back with loads of content very, very soon. I'm out of here. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for enjoying Fleck riding solo, Fleck taking the Roman reins, and also the Flecknology. See how I sorted it out? I've learned that if I want multiple tabs, I need to put them on this screen, and it actually does help. The RAM does help my computer last. So big up. Thanks for rocking with me, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Take care. Peace.